I love the way the First Gen Lounge makes me feel.
Because it creates a space where I belong.
Where we're able to create community.
The fact that it's a community.
It's a safe place.
It also gives me a place to understand different perspectives.
The stories of these individuals prescribe transformational perspective.
I receive encouragement, enlightenment, empowerment.
And also serve as a catalyst to just keep going.
Where we're able to be our true selves.
I'm allowed to be an unapologetic first gen.
And above all else, tell our story.
And every episode is unique.
I love it.
I'm your host, Dr. Eve, and I'd like to welcome you to the First Gen Lounge. Hey, beautiful people across the world. It's your girl, Dr. Eve in the house. Okay, yeah, I am really tripping out today. Why? Because I am excited beyond words. And why am I so excited? Well, we talked about it on Sunday. If you're on the email list, you got it. If you're not, shame on you. Man, so a year ago, we changed the name of the podcast from the Purpose University Podcast to the First Gen Lounge. And oh gosh, it's been so beautiful to see how this show has just taken on a life of its own, how you all are supporting, how you are sharing, doing your thing with your friends, and just letting them know what's up, your colleagues. Like, I am overjoyed, and gosh, this means so much to me that you all continue to be in this space and that we are affirming each other in our voices as first gens out here. Okay, first gens, turn it up all 2019 and forever. That's what I really like to say. But no, really, y'all, I, doing a little solo show to kind of commemorate. I'm be honest. I kept having this thought come to my mind, and that thought kept being, I remember praying for days like this. And it's like, you remember praying for days like this? What you mean? There's been a few things that have happened, actually several things that have happened, especially in the past few months, that I've looked up my life and think, oh gosh, I remember when that was just a dream or something on a vision board or something, that I only ever imagined would happen, and for it to have happened for real, ends up being extremely exciting for me. And I'm sure that some of you, have had that experience as well, where something has happened. You're like, yo, I can't believe this is happening. So let me put y'all on. And before I do that, though, let me just say I'm serious about that email list. If you're not on the email list, there's a link in the show notes. So check your show notes, hit that link and subscribe. Why? Because, well, we're going to do some big things this month. Or at least in my head, they're going to be big things. So, we're going to do them big enough for the First Gen Lounge. Okay, let me quit tripping. I just can't help myself. So I pray for days like this. Recently, I had an opportunity to do a lot of traveling. And I ain't gonna stunt. Your girl was tired. Tired. I was in Mississippi, Chicago, Louisiana, did some stuff locally as well, but I was on the road every weekend. And there was one weekend I just totally tapped out, actually. So I was like, nah, I can't do this anymore. But within the month of August, I was on more planes in that month alone than I was actually an entire last year and all of this year, actually. And there's one particular week that stood out to me. In this one week, I was in both Chicago, Illinois, and saw Lake Michigan and saw the planes flying because they had the air and water show. I just happened to catch that while we were there and was so fascinated. And I fell in love with Chicago, y'all. That happened. And no more than that, a few days later, I was in New Orleans eating Cafe de Monde, eating my beignet with my mama, and had an opportunity to see the Mississippi River that set at the bottom of the French Quarter, all within a couple of days of each other. And I kept thinking, wow, did that just happen? But let me take it a step further. For the first time in my life, I flew my mama somewhere to meet me, to come hang out with me, to do something with me. I had a speaking engagement, which was really a major one for me, which is so significant in what I was doing and for the work that I've been doing with the First Gen Lounge and just, as the Purpose Professor and helping First Gens navigate life and adulthood and stuff. It was just one of those weeks where it was perfect. And that same week, just that 1 week alone, I went back and counted. I was on 6 planes with all the travel and layovers and stuff. But nonetheless, I was on 6 planes. I saw the airport so many times. And I just thought to myself, my gosh, I remember when I prayed for days like this. It is interesting to feel like you are awake in a dream. And if you've never felt that before, or if you say, I haven't felt like that before, I want to challenge you that, yeah, you may have. A part of what that looks like is something that you longed for, even if that was just a meal, right? If that was just going to a place around the corner in your neighborhood and doing something with a group of friends. There's got to be something in your life that you said to yourself at one point, I would just love to do that. So to have been able to fly my mama out somewhere, to have her meet me in a different state, to hang out with her. And let me say, this is the first time in my life that I had taken a solo trip with my mama. We'd never done that. And I'm like, wow. So many first things were happening in this same week. And I'm thinking like, wow, I pray for days like this to where I be speaking, I'm traveling, I'm able to fly my mom out, take care of her. Mama, get whatever you want. Thinking I'm balling out, right? I wasn't balling out. I wasn't. I really wasn't. No, for real. But I was making sure I took care of my mama. My mama has done so much for me. And so that brought me to thinking about it hadn't always been like this. But I still pray for days like this. So what I want to do in the time that, we're talking today too is not just give you the perspective of, oh, you out here bragging, huh? Because you're not here, you think you're doing it big, huh? Nah. Y'all understand, and any entrepreneur who's full-time will tell you it takes a while to find your footing, to spread your wings, and to really get the ball moving, right? But what I noticed is that I was finally starting to see the fruits of my labors, and I was finally starting to see the past 3 years of hard work and sleepless nights and stress and anxiety pay off. And you're like, well, how you got all that and you working for yourself? I thought your life was better. It is a whole lot better than what it used to be. But that doesn't mean that entrepreneurship is without flaw. And, I hate that sometimes we get caught up in thinking that, entrepreneurship, you paint this pretty picture, you looking like you're doing it for the gram and you're doing great out here, but it's a lot of work. It's a whole lot of work. It's 24/7, 365. And even when you taking a break, your mind is still on your business. And for somebody who loves working and doing stuff all the time, I would say it's a benefit, but then for those who don't, it's not. But anyway, I remember praying for days like this. And I'm going to keep saying that because in me realizing that there have been things that have come to pass that have blown my mind and have made me so excited and have given me so much hope. Even, being transparent, I had set a financial goal for myself that I didn't think I was even going to meet by the end of this year. Oh, who am I to doubt myself, right? But it ended up turning out that I met that goal and exceeded the goal within like a 2-week span, and thought to myself, holy sugar honey iced tea, because that just happened. And it was surreal for me, but very validating for myself to know that I'm capable, I'm worthy, I can do this. But more than anything, something is happening. I prayed for days like this. But in me praying for days like this, I realized that all the days that I did not desire, I prayed for those too. I went there, didn't I? I prayed for days like this, but there are days to get to where you're going that you're not necessarily going to like. But that doesn't mean you didn't pray for those days, that those days are not meaningful. That's the point I'm getting at. Because realizing that it has taken time to find my footing, and I'm still not where I want to be, but I sure as hell am not where I used to be. I'm going to say that. But praying for days like this meant that anything that ever came to challenge me in the days in between were the days I prayed for too. We can't excuse hardship on our way to success. We can't excuse challenge, adversity, all the things that are negative. We can't excuse those while we are on our path. What I want you to think about with me today is while you are moving to that thing that you want more than anything for your life, embrace the days that aren't as good as much as you embrace the days that are good. See, I pray for days like this, right? Because when I asked God in the universe for me to figure out my entrepreneurial path, to know who I was going to serve, I never asked for it to be easy. I never asked for it to be a journey that was just going to be without challenge or without heartache, without headache even. So when the days have come that have had me sometimes discouraged or questioning my own self about what I'm doing, I prayed for those days too, because I asked for the journey. I asked for the journey. Yes. So for those of you out here getting it, entrepreneurs, podcasters, going to grad school, having families, get married, the days that you are like, screw all of this, remember that you prayed for days like this. And don't take those days for granted. Why? Because the days that you thought were most desirable, the days that you really wanted to have and share and be a part of, the happiness, the ones you capture, it took something for you to get there. And you won't appreciate it the same if you don't get through or go through anything to get to that. I do know that. So for those of you asking, well, I'm in a space right now where I'm praying for something better. How do you know that you're better or where you are right now isn't your best, right? And you may be like, well, nah, because I'm going through something. Here's the thing about life. Whatever you're going through is the absolute best for the time that you are going through it. So don't discount your adversity, only looking for your blessings. Don't discount what makes you cringe or makes you uncomfortable or feel so unhappy and not realize that being in that space is what's going to make you look at the moments that are high. Because I already said it, but I'm repeating. I'm an educator, so I know I need to repeat this stuff. But being able to look at what's good in your life and get there, you'll remember those days that you were down in the trenches, right? But while you're in the trenches and while you're going through what you're going through, there are a couple of things that I want to put on your mind, because remember I said I pray for days like this. So while I've sat up here and told you about how exciting the past couple months I've had, especially August, y'all, August was popping, like big popping. Like I was like, ooh, girl, okay, all right. But then I realized I prayed for days like that, but I also prayed for the days after that would present challenge, that I would have to go back to my routine and get back to the hustle, to the grind, to figuring things out, to being on the phone all day, sending emails, all the time, to my husband coming home, looking at me like, you still doing work? I am. And that's not a complaint at all, but that's to say everything that you pray for that's good, you got to pray for the process. Yes, pray for the process. So some thoughts I want to leave you with. When you are praying for days like this, those days you be like, yes, and this is it. But then the negative things happen. I want you to check yourself. I really want you to check yourself. And what does it mean to check yourself? You got to realize, is this just a temporary thing that I'm experiencing right now? And by me praying for what I'm praying for that I think is good, is this just not a part of what is helping build my character, build my faith, build my tenacity for whatever it is ahead? So check yourself and check your intention. If your intention is in the right place about whatever it is that you're doing, you'll recognize that whatever it is that you're experiencing that may not be so exciting, it's intentional. It's for a purpose that is greater than you, because, you got to get through what you're getting through to get to where you got to go. Did I just make it up? I think I did. But check yourself. Check yourself and say, is my heart really in this? Check yourself and say, am I really doing the best that I can do in each given moment, even if the moment isn't one that I prefer? Because when you are given challenge and when you are giving, man, I said challenge. Y'all need to count the number of times I said challenge. I pay you a quarter each time you count. I'm playing. But count all the things that are against you right now, or looking at those things and saying, checking myself. If I was really created for this, then do I not know that I'm going to get through this? Do I not know that I'm going to figure it out? Do I not know that eventually this is going to make sense? Because again, I pray for days like this. And that prayer, when I asked God to show me the way, when I asked him to help me to be more patient, and then somebody's getting on my nerves, you don't think that was helping me to be patient? Not just when you can be, somewhere where everybody's looking at you on the stage and you got patience because you're getting your check. But like, seriously, are you patient when nobody's looking? So checking yourself. Are you checking yourself? Are you truly asking yourself if this is what you really want? Or do you want this because you think it's right? And are you experiencing a storm or a hardship that's not even something that you desire, because it's not something that's true to you? It's not something that you're really feeling, but you're just doing it because you got some clout or something, right? So check yourself. And remember, I pray for days like this, right? Another thing I want you to do is go back to your plan. So when you are in the time in between getting to your next blessing, and for those days you prayed for the ones you realize, like, yeah, I really pray for days like this, right? When you are in those positions of, I don't know, or I'm not sure, or this ain't good, or this ain't right, I want you to go back to your plan. What was your plan in the first place? And if you don't have a plan, it might be time for you to put a plan in place. Why? Because what I understand, and I have just come to really, really embrace, especially as an entrepreneur, is that, I'm going to cliche on you, right? The lack of planning is preparing to fail, how they say it, something like that. But when you think about who you become or what you're doing, what's your plan? Are you just going with it, or do you have some kind of thought in mind? Because here's why. During the times when you are feeling challenged, the time in between the days that you pray for, there is something that's happening that's going to cause you to get off track. And it's called life, period. But if you don't know what your plan is, life will derail you and derail you big time. It will derail you in a way that's got you thinking, yo, this is mad crazy. I did not sign up for this. But surely, honey, you did. You did. Because what? Go ahead and say it with me. I pray for days like this. So checking yourself, and then asking yourself, well, what's my plan? If your plan, was to be at a certain place in 3 years, can that be adjusted and can it be 5? If your plan, was to build a business or start a podcast or start working on a paper or to hit that girl or, that guy up to say, what's up, babe? I want to go on this date. What was your plan? If you don't know what your plan was, you don't know where you're going. The lack of planning is surely going to bring you to some kind of failure and frustration because you're not going to know what you're doing. And that drives me to the other thing that I want to bring up. You have to assess your daily habits. While you pray for days like this, during the time in between those days, you have to know or have to look at what you're doing that's really getting you forward or really setting you back. So as much as you go back to your plan, how are you working that plan every day? So you say you want to lose weight. Are you spending 10 minutes exercising every day? Are you meal prepping on Sundays and Mondays? Are you, starting this business? Are you reading books on business? Are you learning about business plans? Are you learning about funding? What are you doing daily to get yourself where you got to go? Because here's the thing. During those days that you are waiting for the days that you pray for, those days, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening, right? I'm hype. During the time in between, y'all, by checking yourself, by going back to your plan and by assessing your daily habits, it'll give you some sense of where you are. It'll help you figure out what you need to change. It'll help you learn if you need to go in a different direction, period. It'll help you see the things that if I've been doing this one thing for 20 days and it ain't working, I might need to do something different. So that assessment, that evaluation, that checking of yourself, that bringing yourself to reality and that being real with yourself is something that's going to help you. So when you have the days that you say you prayed for, when you have the days that you all up in the clouds and can't nobody take you down and everything is popping, when that high becomes a low, or when that high becomes a stagnant, or when that high becomes I'm just all the way wiped out. When that happens, you can come back to yourself and realize that you are still where you need to be, moving how you need to move, and doing whatever it is that you need to do, like point blank, period. Checking yourself. And if your intention is off, it's not going to work. You're going to give up. If your intention is off, you're not going to have the right plan. If your intention is off, your daily habits are going to be off too. So everything is created to check each other thing to get you where you got to go and to have you moving in the right direction, good people. So when I tell you about the good things that are happening in my life that have happened recently that I'm so excited about, the truth is, over the past 3 years, there has been a lot of challenge and a lot of days where I've just been like, this ain't for me. This was crazy of me to do as an entrepreneur. This podcast is too much work, or I'm so frustrated, or this ain't working. But what keeps me going? Like, why you keep going then? The money looking funny? Because I've had so many times where the money has looked real funny. And to where I was tapping my husband on the shoulder and he was looking at me like, babe, really though? And I'm like, but babe, it's for the business. It don't go down like that. But really, when you are, on your path and on your journey and you're praying for days like this, the days that you can see your successes, please take your failures, your challenges, your mistakes, your not so good moments of life, and treat them with the same honor and appreciation as you do the things that you love and enjoy, because everything is adding to who you are, to your life experience, and to what you will do going ahead. So like I was saying, I have definitely seen some glory recently, but my glory did not come without a story. My glory hasn't been without tears and sleepless nights, and it hasn't been without saying, man, I am not where I want to be right now, and I'm still not where I want to be, but because of me checking myself, because of me going back to my plan, sometimes working my plan, and for me looking at my daily habits, I'm able to say, well, while some days are challenging, I'm good. So the days that are good, I prayed for days like this. Every day is a day that I pray for. Every day is a day that you should be praying for as well. I ended up talking to someone recently, and what I found myself telling them is, you got to look at your life and realize that God hasn't put you where you are just for you to be where you are. You know, he put you there for a reason. What you're going through is for a reason. It's for you to get through it and to learn from whatever you got going on to add to what your next is. And so for me, in all that I've had happen in the past month, really, I just reminded myself, or I was reminded, you know, period, that at the end of the day, I prayed for this, and everything I pray for is what's happening. I can't pray for the good and not expect the bad. And that's really what it's about. It's the yin and the yang. It's finding the balance. It's knowing that, you know, there has to be some kind of adversity for there to be triumph, because otherwise nothing is what it is, right? So beautiful, beautiful people. I think this is about as long as I've really talked to you, just like solo dolo in a while. But really, it's just on my heart that in everything that you do, I pray for days like this. If it's good, I pray for days like this. If it's bad, I pray for days like this. Why? Because when you pray for what you want, and I'm going to keep saying it, you got to realize that everything is adding to. Everything is adding to. It is. So no experience is in vain. No challenge is without, I said it again, but no challenge, and again, is without, you know, without its reward as well. And you just got to stay hanging the game, you know, you got to stay in there. And then y'all first gens out here, so y'all get it. You praying for days like this, your day not going to like somebody else's day. Your happiness is not going to like somebody else's happiness. Your path is not going to be the same as others. And I mean, that goes for anybody beyond first gen, but as a first gen, you have the tenacity and you have the resilience even. You have the heart to go out here and get it and make it happen. And that's what I know. Why? Because we all first gen out here. So go do what you do with your life and make the most of each and every day. And know that as long as you're giving your best, your intentions are good, that you are working your plan, and that you are doing something daily to get to where you gotta go. You doing your thing. Like, you out here, and give yourself some credit. Like, please give yourself some credit, because the last thing you want to do is look at your life and see how everybody else out here shining and think that you're not shining. I bet you shining big too. And until you can see that for yourself, it's not gonna matter what the world thinks anyway. It's not gonna matter, because the days that you prayed for are just gonna be days to show off, and then you're gonna be really burnt out, and they're not gonna be your days. And so for me, talking about the things that happened last month between taking my mama and doing all this traveling and seeing, you know, the very top and the very bottom of the US, so it's just like, wow, I pray for days like this. But it also took me some time to get here. So that's the other thing. I'm going to drop that on you too. Give yourself some time to get to where you get to. Give yourself some time. You know, we look at people and we think they're overnight celebrities, but people have been doing stuff 15, 20, 30 years, you know, to get to where they are. The thing is, are you committed, and are you willing to stand, you know, the test of time? Are you willing to stay on the journey? Are you willing to keep going for what it is you want? Because can't nobody go out here and get for you what you want for you like you can. And with that in mind, if that's going to school, if that's being in a healthy relationship, if that's going to get a house, buying a car, if that's getting, you know, snatching that waist or building your muscles out, whatever it is, like, you got to put in that work. And it's even, I mean, speaking of muscles, it's kind of like muscles. What happened to muscles when you build them? You have to actually tear the muscle before it can be rebuilt. Did y'all, I mean, for those of you who don't lift or don't know about lifting, I mean, I ain't an expert, but I know that much. Something has to be torn down to be built back up, especially, you know, in the muscle building process. But also it's nourished, right? And over time you get to see it, and then you flex. So even so, you know, think of your process like that as well. You're just building your muscle, your mental muscle, your physical muscle, your spiritual muscle, whatever it is. And when you pray for days like this, sometimes you got to be broken down, but you will be built back up. But in being built up, you will be stronger, but you got to keep at it to keep it going. Man, I feel like I'm doing something today. Well, look, good people, I love you. I love you so very much. Again, check the show notes, get on the email list. Don't forget to share with your friends, your colleagues, and your peers, you know, just making sure that this, you know, continues to get out there. And know that I'll be doing some giveaways for the month of September. I'll be speaking at a women's empowerment event in October. So doing some giveaways, some tickets for that, doing some stipends. I got some good stuff that's, you know, up my sleeve. So I want y'all to look out for it. But, you know, if you ain't on that list, you probably ain't gonna know about it, especially if you ain't listened to the podcast in a while. You gonna miss that. So don't miss that. But like, really, I love y'all. First Gen Mixer, September 29, 2019. I want you to be there in the Raleigh-Durham area. Oh, that sounds good, didn't it? September 29, 2019. Get up in there with Evangeline. Let's go hang out. Have a great time. Let's do, you know, some amazing networking and just meeting each other. And who's to say that this First Gen Lounge Mixer is just going to be limited to Raleigh-Durham? I'm just saying. That's all. All right, before I love you, I love you, I love you. Wishing you well that all's lies ahead. And remember, I pray for days like this. Every day is a day that you pray for. Make them all count. And I'm out. Did you go, at any point during this session? If so, then go ahead and subscribe, then uplift friends, colleagues, and students by sharing the show. Also, don't miss out on exclusive insights that I only share via email by joining the First Gen family at www.thepurposeprofessor.com/family. I know I said a whole lot, so I'm going to drop a link in the show notes. Now, until the next time, don't forget to be resilient, authentic, and intentional in all that you do. And no matter what, keep pressing forward.